Oh man, it's been a while, baby. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. I hear music playing. I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I feel like I'm in a Dubai day club. Sweating. Anyway, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's been 4 weeks since your boy's been live. I've been traveling. I was out in Florida, then in Texas, and then in New York and Vegas, but I'm back, baby. I'm back. I am leaving tomorrow. But we're back, and the crypto market's looking pretty damn good tonight. Bitcoin's at $111,000, and I want to answer the question that everyone has on their mind. Is the crypto market actually breaking out? Like, is it actually? Is this another one of those moments? Is this one of the moments where the market, like, does a little bit of that, but then it gives us a little bit of that, right? I want to answer that question for you. We're going to do the whole thing. We're going to do the whole shebang. So, of course, as per usual, on the way in, smash that like button, press that subscribe button, kick down its door, and press that subscribe button. Let's get into it. I'm happy to be back. It's been I'm going to let the, like, 1 more minute go by until all the notifications and stuff go out the first 5 minutes. But it's been good. It's been good. I've been talking to a lot of you on Instagram. So if you haven't followed me on Instagram, do it. That's down below. Making a lot of content. One thing I will say, hey, player. One thing I will say, 1 day ago, crypto alert, it's almost here. Get ready. That's all I'm going to say. What's up, everybody? But welcome in. We're going to get into the market today. Give me, again, about 30 more seconds. I'm going to let these notifications go out. But shout out to everybody in here, as per usual. I see a lot of people. Crypto Decker, shout out to you. I appreciate it. Try my best. Nico Bain, Jason in the building. Jason's always here. Corey Pierce, RR, Gisley, Blake, RM, Kale? Yeah, Kale. What's up, Marina? What's up, everybody? Happy to have you all in here. Today. Let's get it, baby. Oh, look at Ryan. Yo, my G. What's up? Let's get in. Let's get into it. Edwin. The boy Edwin is in the house. Shout out to you, Scott. I appreciate everybody. Ooh. Let's get into it. Let's see what's happening here. Okay. What's up? Hey, y'all wanna count down the hours until some bad piece of news comes? Anyway, okay, so what's happening in the crypto market today? Well, first and foremost, before we can really go over what's happening now, let's talk about what's been happening. I think that's the smart play here, right? Let's talk about what's been happening because, again, yesterday I made a video that said, crypto alert, it's almost here, get ready. Crypto alert is almost here, get ready. And why did I say that? Why was I screaming, hey, pay attention? Now, listen, I wasn't saying that we were about to pump. I wasn't saying we're about to dump. But all I knew was something was about to happen. I could just feel it in these little spidey bones. And we, of course, got that move. Now, the question that people may have is, okay, well, how? Right? How are we kind of assuming that some sort of move is on the way? And it all has to do with 2 things. It's honestly pretty damn simple. We had this big descending channel right here. We had this little ascending channel right here. And what was interesting was the way that it was playing out, the way that it was shaping out was that Bitcoin's price, of course, had been range bound. We set in the low, we set in the lows, we set in the highs, we set in the highs. These were linear on the same parallel plane, which of course allowed us to create the descending parallel channel. Now, Bitcoin's price made a beautiful rally all the way up to, of course, $110,000 at one point breaking out of this descending channel, but of course giving us the fake out action, liquidating a ton of people back here, falling back into the channel. Now, when Bitcoin did this, let me get rid of that for a second. When Bitcoin did this and it liquidated all of these traders by giving us a fake out right here, right? What I said to you all was it's going to be very interesting to see if that was a real fake out or not. And I remember I said that, 1 second. I'm not seeing anything either. Oh, are we good? We gravy? Let me know. Let me know if the stream's good and then I'll keep it going. I think we're gravy now. I think we're good now. I'm going to keep it pushing. Let me know. Okay, we're good. All right, my bad. Okay, so in a video that I made right here, okay, in a video, one of these 2, I told you in that video, I said, listen, as Bitcoin's price just gave us a fake out, I'm going to be watching this extremely closely because what I want to see is whether or not this was a real fake, like if this was an actual fake out or not, okay? An actual fake out would look like Bitcoin's price pretending to break out right here, right? Pretending to break out right here, and then dropping like a nuke. absolutely straight down, falling back into the descending channel and starting to come back towards some of these key levels, maybe 102K, maybe 105K. On another world, though, these little lizard people are licking those eyeballs and saying, okay, watch this. We're going to fake them out right here. So we're going to kill some of that, those longs, because a lot of people are going to make money in this, right? Like, I think the lizard people, and I say lizard people as a joke, please don't get too offended. I think the lizard people were looking at this move and they saw everybody open up 500x, 100x long trades, and they looked at this and said, no, people can't win. That's not okay. And so we saw these liquidations start to hit the market, as this, I personally believe, was a blatantly manipulated move, right? Now, a whole bunch of people get liquidated. We come back to the 87.5% threshold, and then we use it to start working our way up. Now, this time we break out, similar to what we saw back here, but not many people opened up huge leverage long trades because no one believed it, right? Everybody was scared of it so that the crypto price and the crypto market could actually start pumping. What actually happened was that as we started to break out right here, a lot of people opened up short trades as a result of thinking that this was going to happen again, which I think is what these lizards wanted, allowing them, of course, to push the market back upwards and liquidate all of the people who shorted this. So the people who went long right here and lost, then entered in on short trades and then lost, right? And so it was a way for the same result, right? The same breakout result, but liquidations to occur on both sides. And there were hundreds of millions of dollars of liquidations that have occurred over the last couple of days, if you don't think I'm telling the truth. So with that in mind, that's kind of where we've been. Now, the reason why I felt like this move was on the way, and again, I'm not saying a pump, I'm just saying a big move was on the way, which is why I made a video yesterday, crypto alert, it's about to happen or whatever. The reason I said that is because of what we were seeing from this bad boy, okay? So what I recognized is that Bitcoin actually had some linear things going on here. So we had support. We have 4 support zones, and these almost perfectly, if I drop that back down, I don't know why it moved, but they almost perfectly aligned with these 3 support levels to the top side, giving us this triple top towards the top side, and then of course a quadruple bottom to the bottom side, giving us an obvious descending channel, or ascending channel, sorry. But it had, of course, the double-sided fake out. So fake out there, fake out there. So these cancel each other out. So what we can see is that there was an ascending channel that was forcing Bitcoin's price upwards. And that was the whole point of yesterday's video. I said, listen, look, watch. Bitcoin is very... Right here, look at that. I said, listen, there is an ascending channel that's forcing Bitcoin's price upwards. And unless Bitcoin just nukes over the next 24 hours, it's going to be forced outside this massive macro descending channel. And that could be the very catalyst that Bitcoin needs to actually give us this breakout of this descending channel that we've been looking for, right? And so what we can see here is, well, that was the case. Again, I didn't call a pump. I was just saying to get ready for a decision to be made. And the decision was made. Now that we've kind of been refreshed and we know, okay, well, what has happened over the last couple of weeks is that, of course, we got the move to the top side. We got the fake out. The lizard people liquidated all of these people as they pushed the price down, 87.5% threshold, found support, came back upwards. People entered into short trades. They lost. They got wrecked. Lizard people win as they always do, right? Here we are. Okay. So the question that everybody has on their mind now is, well, is this going to last? I think that's the big question. And I want to do a quick little study. If you are skeptical that this is going to last, let me know in the chat. Put I am. That's all I want. Just put I am. If you're skeptical of whether or not this is going to last, just put I am. That's going to be important in like 5 minutes, okay? Now, the question that everyone has again is this going to last or not? Now, obviously, I don't know, okay? Obviously, I have no idea. But what I do want to do is I want to give you my perspective as to what I'm seeing, and then we'll just go from there. But what you'll come to realize is that my plan for the stream is not to convince you or to even make you believe that it's going to last or it's not. But moreover, my plan for the stream is to show you my plan as to what I'm doing, whether it does last or whether it doesn't last, so that I can make gains one way or another. Because the reason why I believe most people lose is because they're very they operate on one plane. So let's say, for example, many people are going to be betting right now that, okay, I think this pump is going to last, so I'm going to do this. That's how many people operate. And I believe that's a very novice way to look at the crypto market. And the reason I say that is because the crypto market is very complex and is very manipulated, right? You have to be able to see through the bullshit. And so many people operate on a single plane, it causes them to lose almost all the time. Whereas I have survived this crypto market and made profit every year of this crypto market, which I found to be an interesting stat, by always being, in many ways, I don't know if the word's binary, but in some capacity is binary, because I'm looking at this market and saying, okay, I think it's going to last, but I'm vastly aware that this market's manipulated. So my plan is that if it does last, I'm going to do this. If it doesn't last, I'm going to do this. But the goal should be that both of these things that I do lead me to profit in one way or another. And if you can consistently be ahead of the move, no matter whether it does this or this, I know exactly what to do. I believe it's going to limit your emotions. So you're not going to just be an emotional trader, emotional investor who's always doing crazy shit for no reason and blaming everybody else but yourself. And then also, you're going to be able to constantly stack profits on both sides. And that's the goal. And to kind of show you an example of that, and I'm going to circle back to the comments here in a second, but to show you an example of that is, think about this, right? How many people on YouTube, and I'm not trying to call out any creators, but I just, like, you gotta do what you gotta do, right? How many creators that you watched, whenever we got to $111,000, said that we were going to 150K? A bunch of them. Now, mind you, I manage a bunch of creators, so I'm telling you, a bunch of them. And so what were people doing? They were opening up ginormous long trades. They were buying. And even as Bitcoin's price started to pull back right here, they were buying. Now, that's totally fine, but what they were not considering is that maybe there's a world in which we go into a multi-month consolidation, which is what we did. And so rather than basing my entire game plan off simply just assuming that Bitcoin was going to rally to all-time highs, what I did the second that I recognized that we were entering into consolidation is I said, okay, well, I'm going to start buying at support levels if we go down and taking profits at high levels if we go up. So I have this kind of binary approach to it. And so what did we do? Well, Bitcoin's price started to range sideways. And what did we do? Listen, rather than just buying right here, we took a lot of profit off the table, prepared to reinvest it if we needed to. We reinvested it right here. We reinvested it right here on the green bubbles, and then we were able to take profits. And guess what I'm going to do today on stream? I'm taking more profits off the table, not because I don't believe it's going to last, but more that I believe that we can capitalize on this no matter what happens, right? And so while many people were floundering right here and just kind of going through it for a couple months, guys, we were riding the wave. We were like, look, we took profits right here. We were invested it, then we took profits again. I mean, we're smashing it through this move. And so that's why I believe it's more important to have a plan that's prepared for whatever happens rather than try to confirm your own bias. I'm not the type of YouTuber who's going to try to sit here today and try to convince you one way or another. Some of you may have clicked on the stream with having it in your mind that said, I don't think this is going to last. And some of you are going to click this video today and you're going to say, I do think that this is going to last, right? What many of you are looking for is for me to confirm your bias in the sense that you want to hear me say, I think it's going to last, or I don't think it's going to last. Now, I am going to give you that answer, but I'm not the type of YouTuber who's going to just simply try to get your views by trying to confirm your bias. Moreover, I'm going to try to convince you to not have that bias to the capacity in which you operate on a single plane. To where, and what I mean by that is you're not just thinking, I think it's going to go up, so I'm going to go long. I want to show you, even if you're wrong, you can still find ways to make money. That's the goal of this stream. Let me know if that makes sense. I hope so. So let's go into it. Okay. So whenever I look at Bitcoin, okay, I actually want to look at this. Okay. So a lot of people said, whenever I just said, are you skeptical that this is going to last? I am. I mean, this is like 100 I ams and a couple I am not. And what that means is that a lot of people are extremely skeptical that this pump that we're seeing right now is going to last. Now, I think that's actually a good thing. Okay. I think that is a good thing. And the reason why I think that's a good thing is because the more people who are skeptical that this is going to last, the more likely it is that it does last, right? And I see my camera battery actually looking low. Hopefully that doesn't die, or we're just going to have to figure this out. I don't know what the alternative is, okay? What was I saying? Yeah. The more people who are skeptical that this is going to last, or the more people who think that it's probably not going to last, the more likely it is that it does last. Now, what's interesting is that when Bitcoin broke out back here, more people back here believed for sure that we were breaking out and we were going up than currently do right now. And the reason that I point that out is quite simply just because if more people believed it back here, it makes sense as to why we pulled back. But if less people believe it right here, oftentimes it means the manipulation that caused this fake out to happen it worked, right? I don't think the lizard people want you to be on board with the pump. I don't think whenever crypto breaks out, they want you to go long and actually make money. I think they want you to quit and lose money. I think they want you to short and liquidate you and take your money, right? And so if a lot of people are skeptical right here, history shows that you're much more likely to actually see pumps. Now, when I cross-reference that theory with what we're seeing on liquidation map, I think it actually does back up my point a good bit. Because what you're going to see is that currently speaking, guys, watch this, watch the 30-day. We're weighted, but watch this. It's 16 billion. Now, don't you get me wrong. That is a lot of liquidations to the downside. But remember, the last time that we broke out, we were pushing into the low 20s to mid 20 billions. And what that means to me is that although there are still a lot of people betting that it's going to go up, it's less than it was last time. And the more people that assume that this isn't going to last, the more likely it is that it is going to last. Now, when you pair that up with the fact that we already got a fake out right here, the bears stepped in and they pushed the price right back down, and then we broke back out, that, of course, does start to encourage me that we're probably going to, you're more likely to be able to sustain a breakout the second time than the first time. And the reason I say that is because the bears had to try really hard to push the price down right here, and then they failed to keep it down, and the bulls kind of overpowered them, right? So the more you do this, the longer you stay at a resistance zone, the weaker the bears become. Okay. And so whenever you factor in the lower amount of liquidations, right? Lower liquidations, and you factor in weakening bears, you combine those two things together, and I think it is well within reason that this could last. Now, another thing that I want to point out is that Bitcoin's price currently is now, it just did in some ways set an all-time high on this chart at least. But when you look at the daily RSI, your daily RSI still sat at the 62 level. And although this was a beautiful extension, it wasn't an overextension by any means. Now, on your shorter time frames, like of course your 1 hour, on your 4 hour, yeah, we did get a bit overextended. But on your daily time frame, there's more than enough room to the upside to suffice for a move to the upside. And then lastly, what I would like to kind of consider is our Bollinger Bands. If I look at my Bollinger Bands here on the daily charts, we've not overextended into them. Yes, we have touched them, but we've not overextended into them. And so what that implies to me is that yes, we are high, but we're not so high that it has to come down, right? It's not so high that it must fall. I would actually say within reason, this is a reasonable place to be. We just broke out of a macro descending channel. We just cleared some major resistance levels. We're running into another resistance level, and we're sitting at the top side of our Bollinger Bands, which is enough of a reason for it to kind of cool down a little bit. But I think that we have a very good chance. Like we have a good fighting freaking chance here, guys, of this breakout of this descending channel actually lasting. Now, the truth of the matter is, this is just an educated guess. This is an experience-based guess. Because if Donald Trump comes out tomorrow and says that we're going to be going to war with, let's pick a country, Brazil. If we're going to be going to war with Brazil tomorrow, guess what? We're going to see this crypto market fall. We're going to see Bitcoin's price absolutely nuke back into here. So technical analysis can only be applied to a certain extent, right? We can't say, okay, because of all of these things that are happening from a metric level, from a technical level, that means that Bitcoin for sure is going to stay out there. But what I can say is that it seems like to me our odds of this actually sufficing are much higher than they were back here. In addition to that, one other thing that I just recognized is that the last two times that Bitcoin's price has gotten a daily close outside the channel, it's been immediately rejected. Got immediately rejected right there. It got immediately rejected right here. Whereas in this example, Bitcoin has now gotten not only just one, but two daily closes outside of this descending channel. And if Bitcoin's price can sustain here today, we might get that third. It would have to actually close back below $108,000 for us to not get that third. And so what that implies to me is that there is obviously strength behind this move. I would assume that volume is picked up a little bit. We have the backing of some strong buys. It seems as if we're seeing some decent accumulation here and a lot of kind of a ramping up in terms of volume. And so all of these things to me imply that our odds, our chances of staying outside of this descending channel and trying to make some sort of headway upwards are much higher, again, than they were back here. Now, does that guarantee that Bitcoin stays out here? No. Again, the news is more important than technical analysis right now. The problem is I can't predict the news. I can predict technical analysis. This is all we have to go off of. I can't predict what Trump's going to say tomorrow. I can't predict what Iran's going to say tomorrow. There's no way for me to do those things. But what I can do is look at the historical price data and show that based on historical, kind of not just data, but like patternistic study in some degree, you can see that our likelihood of this actually lasting is higher than not. So it is, in my opinion, that based off of what I've studied, that this very well can last. And I think it very well might last, which is a fantastic sign. But obviously, the contingency here is you never know what the news says. So with this in mind, and kind of knowing that it is in my belief that we have a very good chance of staying out here, let me play devil's advocate. Okay, let me play devil's advocate, because you need to stop looking at it like you need to pick one side of the fence, right? Some people think they need to be on the bullish side of the fence. Some people think they need to be on the bearish side of the fence. The way I look at it, knock that goddamn fence down and see the whole playing field, right? And so when I want to play devil's advocate, there are a couple things that could concern me here. The first thing is the fact that we did get the daily close, as of right now, below that previous all-time high, back over here. And the reason that's so important is that's a major resistance point, guys. I mean, that's a nasty resistance point. And Bitcoin's price will struggle to get past this, just like it struggled to get past this macro point of resistance back here. And so it's not just going to be an easy play. I don't think Bitcoin just zooms straight past this thing. It's been rejected here. That is worth noting. Another thing to consider is that on the 4-hour RSI, you did get overextended. You are pulling back. On the 1-hour RSI, you did get overextended. You are pulling back. On your 1-hour Bollinger Bands, you were overextended outside of the Bollinger Bands. On the 4-hour Bollinger Bands, you were overextended outside the Bollinger Bands. And what that means is that on more of a zoomed in perspective, from your hourlies, your 4 hourlies, any of your minute time frames, this was a very overextended move, and it might need some time to cool down. It might need some time to pull back. And in the time that it is kind of cooling down and pulling back, which could last a couple hours or a couple days, you never know what's going to happen. If the market's cooling down and pulling back and Trump comes out with some crazy shit, guess what's going to happen? Boom, the market nukes. So if you're playing devil's advocate, you must be considerate of the fact that, yes, Bitcoin is looking good and it has a very high chance of being able to sustain this breakout. But while it is cooling down due to overextension on the shorter time frames, any piece of news could come out that nukes it back down within this channel. And so now, whenever you consider both sides of the fence, it's easy to set up the play. It's very easy to set up the play, and this is what I'm going to do. So there's a couple ways that you could go about this. Let me tell you the way that I'm going to, then I'll give you some other ideas. Okay, I'll give you some other ideas. So personally speaking, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take a little bit of profit off the table. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of profit off the table. Tyler, what you just said, there's a good chance that this breakout sustains. You just said there's a good chance that this actually holds. Why would you be taking profits off the table? Well, guys, my strategy is to buy low and sell high. So if we are at highs, what am I supposed to do? Supposed to sell, of course. You must go against your emotions. Tell me if you agree with me. The core principle of investing is to buy things for a lower price than you can sell them at, then sell them at higher prices when the opportunity presents itself. Correct? Let me know in the chat. Put right or true or something like that. Put that in the chat for me, just so we're all clear here. And so in an instance or a situation like this in which Bitcoin is currently right at, if not going to be breaking above all-time highs, I see no reason as to why I wouldn't be taking a bit of profit. Right? Okay, you guys agree with me. Just making sure we're all on the same page. Just making sure we're all on the same page. Okay? So knowing that, perfect. Okay, we all get it. So knowing that Bitcoin's price, so like let's just lay that out right now. Boom. Okay, I'm going to be taking a little bit of profit off the table, selling some of my Bitcoin at $111,000. Okay, my average cost is $33,500 for Bitcoin, so that'll be a pretty solid gainer. That'll be a gain of, give me 1 second, 33.5. I could go look at my coin market cap thingy, but yeah, so it'll be a gain of roughly 227%. So I'll be taking profits around 227%. And the cool part about that profit is that some of it's actually, of course, going to be getting pulled from these buys and these buys that we did, which would make these some pretty decent short-term swing trades, short to mid-term swing trades, which I'm very happy about. Okay. But the first thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking a little bit of profit off the table. Now, what you may notice, though, is that I said I'm going to be taking a little bit of profit off the table. Knowing that Bitcoin's price, as of this exact moment, right, as of this exact moment, has a decent chance of sustaining this breakout, I'm not going to be taking as much profit as I was back here or back here. Why? Because I was taking profit right here because we were at macro resistance. I took profit right here because we are really at macro resistance. I'm going to be taking less profit right here because I think we have a higher chance right now of going up than we did back here and back here. So do you see how I'm starting to alter my game plan based off the data that's being presented to me right now? I'm saying, okay, yeah, I think it's very possible that Bitcoin's price holds this breakout and actually continues upward. So what am I going to be doing? I'm going to be taking less profit than I had previously done. So I'm still going to stick to my strategy. I'm still going to be taking some profit off the table, but I'm taking less profit off the table right now than I was back here, because I do believe there is room to run to the upside. Now, you may wonder, well, Tyler, how far do you think that it might run? Well, I think it's well within reason that if Bitcoin is going to sustain this breakout, and if it gets a pretty solid cool down and back test, I see no reason as to why Bitcoin can't Fibonacci extend. Bitcoin has clearly broken the golden Fibonacci zone, which automatically, as many of you know, opens up the door for a 1.272 Fibonacci extension, which is $116,000, or possibly $121,000 at the 1.618 Fibonacci extension. So my current game plan is that I am going to continue to take profits off the table if and when Bitcoin does continue to climb, with me taking a good amount of profits off the table at 116 and a lot of profits off the table at 121. Why? Because those are the levels where I think it's the most likely, just like right back here and just like right here, that I think Bitcoin will start to slow down. So do you see how I'm continuing to take profits? I'm continuing to stick to my core strategy, but again, I'm adjusting it based off to the data being presented to me from this chart. And so the data being presented to me says, again, that I think Bitcoin continue upwards, so I'm not going to take as much profit right here. I'm going to save some of that profit for these higher extension levels if and when Bitcoin does try to extend to them, okay? And again, I'm just telling you what I'm doing. I'm going to give you some other ideas depending on your situations, don't worry. Now, again, I don't play this both sides of the fence BS. I knock the fence down and I study the plane. So I would say, okay, well, Tyler, what if you're wrong? And what if Bitcoin pulls back? Great. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be taking profit right here. And at the time, as this live stream is happening, Edge should be going and getting the sales done. So let's go ahead. Let's just go ahead and get the red circle put up, and I'll alter it if need be. But the sell would be roughly about half the size of that one. So that's about the size of the sell in comparison to what my previous sells were. Okay, right there. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing now that I've taken some profit off the table, right, is let's say Bitcoin's price does stay, all right, we're coming back down to 102K. Guess what I'm going to do? Guess what I'm going to do? Like, before I even say what I'm going to do, I want you guys to guess what I'm going to do in this exact situation. Bitcoin's price pulls back. What do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to give it a second. Drink your water. Boom. Look, buy, DCA more. Exactly. The beautiful part about the situation that we're in right now is that if Bitcoin's price decides to pull back and it wants to come back down to some of these macro support levels, I've been taking profits, guys. So what we can do is just take those profits, put some aside for capital gains taxes, put some aside that I want to go spend on taking my wife to dinner or whatever, and then take some aside and I'm going to reinvest it back into these macro support levels, just like we did right here, reinvest right there, just like we did right here, and then reinvested right here, and just like we did right here, we may need to reinvest back here, just like we also did back here. Look at this. I mean, look how fantastic. We took all this profit, we reinvested. We took profit off that while we reinvested. Bitcoin's price starts to come down, and guess what? We start buying the dip. Then we bought a lot of the dip. And then we did all of this accumulation right here, and then Bitcoin absolutely rallies. We take profits off of it. It's crazy. It's clockwork. It's easy. It comes back down, you DCA. It goes back up, you take profits. It's not complicated. People just overcomplicate everything to the point that simple shit looks complicated. I am simply just dollar cost averaging and taking profits consistently, no matter how I feel. The truth is, if I'm going to be honest with you, I don't want to sell anything right now. I want to ride this puppy to $150,000, but it's not my strategy. My strategy is to execute as I have been. I have been tracking every one of these buys and these sells since 2024, November of 2024. Right here, I decided, you know what? Every buy and sell I do, I'm going to make it public because I want to show you, I don't just walk this shit, I talk this shit. And what you can see is how this is played out. I sell the tops, I buy the lows. I sell the tops, I buy the lows. And I do it over and over and over again until something breaks or something changes or it just doesn't work. But my average cost is $33,000 for Bitcoin, and that's what I've been doing all along, okay? And so my strategy right now, no matter what Bitcoin does, is going to lead to profits in the long term. The question is not if it's going to lead to profits. The question is, how long will it take for me to get to profits? If I take profits right now and Bitcoin keeps going up, I'm constantly getting to profits right now. If Bitcoin's price comes back down, I'm going to take some of the profits that I took. I'm going to keep some of it, put in my bank account, but I'm going to take some of that cash that I took. I'm going to reinvest it back in. And look, worst case scenario, something like this happens, guys, where I did a little bit of buying right here and it dipped and I bought and it dipped and I bought and it dipped. It kept dipping. Guess what? It'll stop dipping eventually. That's how simple crypto is, in my opinion. And I'm not a financial advisor, do as you feel, but crypto will eventually stop dipping, especially Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin will inevitably see some gains again at some point. That's the way I always look at it. And the worst case scenario is, again, I reinvest a little bit right here and it goes lower. Well, guess what? I'll reinvest some more and reinvest some more and reinvest some more. And over a long enough time horizon, I will consistently be able to pull gains off the table. And that's what I do, guys. And so it doesn't matter if this is a fake out or not. I don't care. I hope it's not, to be honest. I'm sick of it, actually. You know, I'm sick of this whole give us a pump and slap us with a dump. But the truth is, it does not matter. Because if you can sweep the lows and sell the highs consistently enough, you will generate profit enough that you will make money no matter what's happening in the market. While people were losing money for the last 6 months, we locked in profit, reinvested, and then locked in more profit. We were profitable over the last couple months while everybody else was struggling. And you just got to keep it simple. Again, people in crypto overcomplicate everything so much that simple shit looks complicated. This is extremely simple. This is extremely simple. Okay? Buy the lows, sell the highs. Now let me give you some situations. Okay? Let me give you some situations. Let me tell you what I do in those situations, right? Let me show you what I do. Okay. First, Jason, yeah, shout out to you, champ, for the $10 donation. Buy the fear, sell the greed. Appreciate all your insight, man. Well, I appreciate your support. You got it, homie. No problem at all. But look, let's talk about some situations. Okay, Tyler Hill, I bought Bitcoin in 2024. Okay. I bought Bitcoin in 2024 for the very first time when Bitcoin was at $105,000. I rode the dip because I was scared that I bought the top, and now we're sitting at right around a break even for me. I'm just barely profitable. Should I take profit right now if I'm up only a couple percentage points, or should I just leave it alone and let it ride? I'm going to give you my honest opinion of what I would do in that situation, but it must be clear. I'm not a financial advisor. None of the things that I say in this video represent financial advice in any capacity that you should take and then apply to your own crypto portfolios. Your decisions are your own decisions, and whatever you decide to do with your own crypto portfolio is up to you completely. I take no responsibility nor ownership of the decisions you made within your crypto portfolio. But if I was in that situation, okay, what I personally would do, sorry, I just cracked an Alani, so I'm feeling good, baby. What would I do in a situation? I bought Bitcoin in 2024. I wrote it down. I'm just barely up. My Bitcoin portfolio is barely up, but my altcoin portfolio is down. Tyler, what would you be doing in this situation? Okay. Personally, what I would be doing is one of two options, just depending on how risk on you are, like how willing to take risks you are. Okay. So what I would probably be doing, though, personally, is I would be taking tiny amounts of profits. And the reason why I believe this is important, let's say you put $100,000 into Bitcoin. Okay. You put $100,000 into Bitcoin. Your Bitcoin portfolio is now up $105,000. What I'd probably do is look at that $5,000 I'm up and think, you know what? I'm taking $500 of this. I'm taking $500 of that and I'm putting it in my pocket because I earned it. And the reason I earned it is because I waited this whole year for my Bitcoin position to break even. I didn't panic sell. I didn't freak out. I didn't do anything. I absolutely I rode through it. I stuck through it. I stayed strong. I didn't quit. I didn't jeet my bags. I earned this, right? I earned this. And so you need to reward yourself. The people in the world of crypto who convince you that you shouldn't sell are the people who are trying to take advantage of you, and that is a fact. I don't care what anyone says. You cannot convince me. I got here 7 years ago. I've not seen any evidence proving me otherwise. The people who tell you shouldn't sell are the people who are going to sell on you when the price gets higher than it's at right now because they're greedy. Don't listen to them. If you are able to thug it out, you are able to just get through it. You got through that crappy time in the market over the last couple months, and there might be more crappy times ahead. Don't get me wrong. I think that you should take a little bit of profits off the table and put them in your pocket and reward yourself like, I did that. That's what I did. Put some aside for capital gains tax. Don't be stupid, but you get the point. What I may also do is take a little bit off the table as well, take a little bit of profit, and if my Bitcoin position is up, right? If my Bitcoin position's up, but my altcoins are down, which is the case for many of you, what I would probably do is try to take some of the profits from Bitcoin and then push those profits and rotate some of those profits over into my altcoins. Some of the ones that I really, really, really like, I have extremely high conviction on. And that's a more risky play. So I would only do that if you're a little bit more risk on like I am. But the reason I would do that is because now you have an opportunity to start leveling out your portfolio a little bit. Pull some of those gains from your Bitcoin, increase some of those losses from your alts, start to even the playing field a little bit. So now, if you do see some sort of natural rotation in which this Bitcoin pump does lead to an altcoin pump, now you're capable of compounding because you had your Bitcoin bag, you took profit, you applied that profit, which is you being up, into these alts, you rode those alts up, now you compounded your profit. It's a fantastic way to play, only if it works, right? And so if you're willing to take more of a risk, I would take a little bit of profit off the table from my Bitcoin and I would rotate it over into my altcoins, okay? And that's the way that I would play this game. Now, personally speaking, the reason why I'm not rotating into my altcoins is because I already did. So I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but when Bitcoin's price fell back here, I told you guys, hey, I think we're going to get some sort of rotation at some point. I'm probably going to start buying alts. And so when I did these 3 DCAs and this DCA right here, I was already buying my altcoins. So personally, if my alts are up, I'm taking profit, but the majority of them I'm just leaving alone because I've already rotated a little bit. But if I was in a situation like you guys, I would do that. Now, there's another option. The other option is just don't do anything. And I think that's something that people need to always consider, right? Because they look in my crypto portfolio and they see this absolute shit show of a chart where I have all of these buys and all of these sells and they think, gosh, I'm not doing nearly enough. I bought 8 months ago. I haven't sold anything recently. Listen, I only do this much because I am very, very highly convicted in the idea that I can compound my gains better than I could if I just held. And I know many like high ranking, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but high ranking investors would say it's better to just hold, and maybe they're right. But what I've come to notice is that over the last 6 to 7 years that I've been doing this, I have made substantially more gains when I have actively bought the lows and actively taken some profits off the tops and reinvested them during the dips. I think it's because of the cyclicality of crypto that I'm capable of taking advantage of the swings and the ranges that we get, which allows me to compound my gains better than if I just held. But that takes time, it takes experience, it takes practice. And if you're somebody who doesn't want to do all this crazy shit that Tyler's doing, one option that you have is just don't do anything. In a moment like this, don't buy, don't sell, let it ride. Because if you're investing into cryptos that you truly have high conviction in, you shouldn't be sitting around freaking out right now, worried that that one altcoin's down 20% and that one's up 30%. It should be all a part of the practice. If you're freaking out about your investments, it likely means you invested into things not because you believe in them, but more because you bought the hype, right? And so you need to consider those things. So I would say about 90% of you guys are in a situation where your Bitcoin is kind of up, but your alts are pretty down. And so that's what I would do. Now, if some of you are in a different position, I'd love for you to let me know in the chat what position you're in, and I'd love to explain to you what I would do under those circumstances. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some shit real quick. Then I'm going to answer those questions. If any of you have a situation that's a little bit different with your portfolio, and then we're going to dive into individual alts. I'm going to look at ETH, I'm going to look at SUI, I'm going to look at SOL, I'm going to look at all that stuff. Okay, so let's get into it again. I want to show you some shit real quick. So first things first that I'm going to show you is my Instagram. I do post a lot over here. I've been trying really hard on Instagram, guys. I'm not going to lie. I give you Bitcoin and XLM and Caspa updates, Zebek, Bitcoin, Solana. I mean, I've been trying to push the updates out a ton. I just recently rebranded everything so that it looks way more clean and organized. So if you guys do like this, if you guys do want these kind of short, quick updates, I post them every day. We're currently at 996 followers. Let me get... Imagine I just got banned. Hold on. Yo. Hold on, wait. Okay, we're good. Yeah. Anyway, we're at 998 followers. I'm really hoping we hit 1,000 tonight. So if 2 of you could go follow, only if you want the content, go do that. I also do post a ton of stuff over on my Instagram story, so you guys can feel free to go check that out. I gave you a bit of a jump scare earlier. Yeah. There you go. So if you want a little bit of behind the scenes stuff as well, feel free to go check out the Instagram down below. Also, I have the crypto playbook. It is releasing, guys, in 14 days and 12 hours. This is a free, and I don't mean influencer free. I mean real free, like you get it and you don't have to pay anything. This is a free playbook. It's a guide. It's going to give you a whole bunch of information on technical analysis, fundamental analysis, market manipulation, all sorts of stuff, how to get started in crypto. If you sign up to that today, I'm going to send you 2 of the modules out of the playbook for free. And then over the next week, I'm going to start sending you more free content from the playbook itself. Okay. So feel free to go follow that. Another thing, if you are a trader and you want to start trading some crypto today, you can get that 10% bonus over on BTCC. You're going to get a 10% deposit bonus and up to 40% lower trading fees. It's one of the best deals on the planet when it comes to exchanges. And the cool part is, if you click the link down below, I'm going to walk you through the exchange and I'm going to kind of explain those perks to you. So feel free to check that out. And then lastly, if you do a lot of degen, in the trenches, trading, meme coin investing, high risk investing, whatever it may be. If you're looking at a bunch of alts right now, check out DFlow. DFlow is a super exchange, which means it combines centralized and decentralized exchanges into one. And that means you're going to get some of the best prices, pay some of the lowest fees. I mean, it's fantastic. I've never seen anything like it. I wish they had it in 2021. I would have used this over everything else. There's also leverage and futures trading as well. So check that link out down below. That's that. And I don't think I have anything else to show you. You can also go follow me on Twitter. I post analysis every single day. We did a breakdown actually of like Bitcoin and all that stuff. So I post analysis every day there. So we have a bunch of content going out. And of course, I hope you guys do enjoy the content. But who was that thumbs up for? Anyway, let me kind of go see if there's anyone in here who has any different situations. Okay. I'm up 12K since watching you since February. That's fantastic. Send me $30,000. Shout out to you, Crypto High Crazy. It's not just about the price of the token. It's also about accumulating more tokens, compound those gains. Exactly, Darcy. Very nice. I'm all into XRP and other altcoins don't have Bitcoin. That's an interesting play. Why is that? Why don't you have any Bitcoin? If you have the time, experience, and skills, I believe both long-term and short-term should be taken advantage of. I agree. And Josh Yoder, one thing I forgot to mention is I have 2 things called forever bags. Okay, so I have a forever bag of Bitcoin and a forever bag of VOO, which is the S&P 500. It's an index fund with the top 500 biggest stocks in the company, or the biggest companies in the United States. I invest into those every single day. So no matter what the day is, no matter what's happening, I invest into those. They're my forever bags. I'd love to just give them to my children one day. I put money in those every single day. Outside of those, this is what I do. So I agree. I think I probably should have made that clear. I'm all alts and down still from January. If you're all alts, then I would probably just continue to DCA. And it's a good sign if Bitcoin's pumping, because oftentimes there is the ability that liquidity will flow from Bitcoin to alts. I don't think it's time for that yet, but I do think the day will come. We'll do. Biggest mistake of the year. Our biggest mistake ever was aping into all alts in 2023. Yeah, that's a tough one. Tyler Straight Go to shout out to you, Jason. Still down on alts, bought a few dips, however, still hoping for that alt season to start selling 2 to 3x better to gain something and be like I am now. Understandable. Yep. What do you think of my portfolio? 40% SUI, 10% SOL, 5% ETH, 5% WAL, 10% SEI, 30% cash for DCA. I think you're very heavy SUI, and I'd probably reallocate that a little bit personally, just because SUI was one of the top performers of the last few years, which makes it less likely that it'll be a top performer in the next coming years. I personally would start kind of maybe rotating that around. I would obviously add a little bit more ETH. If you like ETH, I'm not a huge fan of ETH, but ETH is a great stable altcoin, and I would also buy some Bitcoin. I mean, I know it's expensive, but Bitcoin is like the king of everything right now. So reallocating some of that into Bitcoin to anchor that portfolio down would probably be what I would do. I'm not a financial advisor. Do what you want. What if you hold for 5 years? Is that a bad idea? That's a great idea. Should I sell my spot then and buy again on the dip? I sell a little bit. I don't sell all of it. I sell like percentages of my macro bag and then rebuy on dips if given them. Yes, that's what I do, but I'm not saying like a lot. No. I assume you sell the high and buy the dips. If the dips are going to be lower to the same as your original cost that you initially bought at, right? I assume that you sell the high and buy the dips if the dips are going to be lower or the same as your original cost that you initially bought it. Yes, absolutely. Do you think people are FOMOing in right now for the rate cuts? Yes. That's why the stock market's pumping for sure. That's what I have done, and my prices are much better. Fantastic. Very good. Okay. I'll do some ZBCN for sure. Theoretically, if you were up 5K in one coin and down 5K in another, would you swap to reduce average cost? A little. Probably so, a little bit. If I have equal conviction. Yeah, if I have equal conviction. Been here with you since October. Since I started my crypto journey, rode it up and down, and now I'm ready for the pump too. Let's go, Crypto Decker. Shout out to you. Tyler, big ups to you. I've been with you since way back when we used to have the weekly roundup when we analyzed new projects. Holy shit. That was like 5 years ago. Wow. Shout out to you. Wow, my word. All right, we're going to get into some analysis in a second. Very good. Okay. Hey, drink your water. I'll ban you from the chat. Alrighty. Let's get into it. Okay, let's do some analysis. What time is it? God, it's 8 o'clock already. My word. I mean, wait. I mean reversion trading a small percentage of a few of the coins out of HODL. That's very good. I like that. Okay, let's get into it. Let's do some shout out to you, champ. Welcome in. Man, I got to get some nice ice water. You better. I'll ban you. First time on your live, bro. Love your content. Shout out to you, Zach. I hope you enjoy it. I'm a little chaotic sometimes. I don't know. I'm a little chaotic sometimes. But welcome to the live streams. I just have a good time. I love talking to you guys. I feel like we don't get to talk often. Okay, let's get into this. Let me delete this before I go crazy. There we go. Boom. All right, let's start with total 2 just to get a feel for the rest of the market. Okay. Total 2 still getting rejected off of the Fibonacci golden zone. It is trying to make some decent headway towards the upside, but I would assume that we are still stuck. Let's see. That's ugly. That's so not parallel. Okay, let's see. There has to be something happening here. What is that? What is that? That looks interesting. Let's see. Does that connect, though? That's relatively linear. So it does look like Total 2 is trying to break out, but it's definitely not blatantly breaking out like Bitcoin did. And I think that's quite obvious. Now, one thing that I would say about Total 2, which again, Total 2 is just a representation of the entire market cap of all altcoins, is that it has now broken above its micro golden zone, which could very well be exactly what it needed to break back into this topside golden zone. So it wouldn't shock me at all if the altcoin market does continue to try to make way up here. But remember, it is going to be at the mercy of Bitcoin. And it's only going to get up here if Bitcoin, in my opinion, hits like $115,000 or something like that. So altcoins are quite clearly still underperforming Bitcoin, and they're at the mercy of Bitcoin. Now, one thing that I will say is that we did see Bitcoin dominance absolutely nuke over the last couple of days, which I don't particularly believe is just because like alts are outperforming Bitcoin, which is objectively why this happened, but more that this is just a reset. Like, I think this is more just of a cool down, because what you can see is that it's now come back straight down to the golden zone. So it's like we had the top, we had the bottom, we push back up to the upside. Oh, shout out to you, Craig. I'll see you later. We pushed towards the top side. We hit the golden zone. We got rejected. We broke above it. We held above it. We built support. We came back up. We hit this on like a 7-wave move upwards. Now it looks to me like Bitcoin dominance is just correcting, and this is going to be the determining factor. If Bitcoin dominance is capable of building support here, I think it's well within reason that we'll see this support hold, and Bitcoin dominance will use this to continue upwards as Bitcoin continues to outperform the market, pushing up to what I would assume would be like 115 to 120K. Okay. If Bitcoin dominance loses support here, then we'll be in a spot to where liquidity is actually flowing from Bitcoin into altcoins. And it wouldn't shock me if we get some sort of little altcoin run where these alts actually do start. Look at Useless. Wow. Shout out to them. I remember them from a long time ago. To where we actually see the altcoins performing. And so it's hard to tell right now if alts are really going to start running, or if this is kind of just like a little short-term pump because of Bitcoin and it's just going to continue to follow Bitcoin. But I do think as the next like 4 days go by and we get 4 more daily candles closing, that should give us a little bit of clarity towards the end of the week on if this is a moment for alts to start to separate and actually go up, or if they're just following Bitcoin right now. For now, though, it does feel like they're just following Bitcoin because, again, Bitcoin is blatantly clearing all-time highs while the total altcoin market is still barely trying to recover these previous recent highs, right? I mean, these were the all-time highs from December 2024. These are the recent highs. We're not even there yet. Now, that is a good thing, though, if you're an altcoin holder, because that does present an area of opportunity. Because let's say Bitcoin does decide to run 124K, which I'm not saying it will, but it is possible. That would put the total altcoin market in a position to where it definitely could try to run. Right? I think that's well within reason. And many people have a valid argument of saying that this could be some sort of bullish structure, whether you want to call it the Adam and Eve, whether you want to call it the cup and handle, whether you want to call it one of these ones where we had this bad boy and then we broke out and then we used it, we came back up and we're going upwards, right? Like, there's many arguments to be made that this is a very bullish structure forming. And I think, yeah, if the altcoin market can get back up and it can break this previous high and start trying to climb upwards, it's well within reason that these alts could start to run. And so for those of you who are taking profits off of Bitcoin and rotating into alts right now, I think you could be setting yourself up for a pretty solid run. But again, you are still taking a risk because we're at the mercy of the news and inflation and all that bullshit right now still. So it's a risk, but I think it's a risk worth taking if you have that sort of gas tank. I don't know what the word is. But I hope you get what I mean. Now, diving into some of the individual alts, what you're going to notice is that many alts right now, and you probably will remember this from my altcoin market deep dive the other day. The altcoin market deep dive the other day, is most altcoins are still in decision making land. And what you can see is ETH is a fantastic example of something in decision making land. Now, decision making land for Ethereum looks like this. And I'm actually, now that I'm really getting a zoomed out perspective on this, I do want to actually move this down just a tad back to there. Decision making land for ETH is this little zone between $2,100 and $2,700. Okay. And the reason I say that is because look how many times we've seen ETH decide on that future move that it's going to make for what could be months based on what happens in this gold box. Right here, for example, we got rejected off of it and we came all the way back down towards $1,500. The next time we got into it, we broke into it and used it and held up, and we used that to push all the way to $4,000. This time we held above it, pushed back up to $4,000. This time we lost it and then we fell back into it, but we didn't fall through it. We held it, pushed back up to $4,000. This time we lost it, came all the way down to $1,400, the same previous level as last time, and now we're back in it. This is decision-making land, okay? This is decision-making land for Ethereum. And so, oh, my camera died. Boo. Okay, what do we do here? I don't know how to do this. I'm trying to think. Should I just continue without it? Let me know. Should I just continue without it? I think I'm just going to do that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to do that for now. The only problem is I don't know how to. That's no, my camera died. That's so boo. Maybe I can give me 1 second. I have an idea. Yeah, I think I'm just going to continue without it because we're getting towards the end of the stream anyway. It's all good. I wish there was a way that I could just remove this though. Like I could just have my face and not. I don't know. It's fine. Anyway, okay. So one more. Hold on. I have an idea. Okay, there we go. So there we go. So. All right, so, okay, yeah, you're right. The little logo moves. Okay, cool. So whenever it comes to ETH, what you can see is that now, again, it has pushed back up into this zone, which is extremely important. And so for ETH, like if I'm an ETH holder, dude, I'm eyes peeled right now. And if you want to play it safe, which I think is probably a good idea in this manipulated ass market we're trading in right now, if you want to play it safe, you could move this bad boy up a little bit to roughly 28. Let's call it $2,900. I would be watching, like, I'm talking peeled eyes right now, just staring at what happens up here, because this is really going to make all the difference. Now, the cool part about it is that the last time that ETH pushed into the top side of this, right, when ETH actually pushed into the top side of this decision-making zone, it was so overextended. I mean, look at that. Like, ETH's daily RSI got up to 85. That's so high. It hadn't been that high in a very long time, right? Whereas now, as ETH is getting higher than it was back here, it's way lower. I mean, we're currently only at 65. So there's more than enough room here. This reset was clearly needed, and it was more than enough to open up room to the upside here. Your Bollinger Bands for the Ethereum price are a little bit overextended on the dailies, but they're extremely consolidated and condensed, which oftentimes does imply volatility is inbound. And so all of these things do tell me that we could very well be in a spot that ETH could try to make a run here. So what I'd be looking for is just seeing ETH set that high. It obviously has come back up and has broken the golden zone, right? It broke that golden zone. So the door is open for ETH to push to 3.1K or 3.5K. The biggest question is, does it do it? And like, that's just where we are. So I personally wouldn't be really doing a lot of buying on ETH. I wouldn't be doing a lot of buying on ETH until we break out of this decision-making zone right now, this little HMZ action, if you want to call it that. But I definitely would be being prepared to do it. One cool idea would be to take a little profit off the table, especially if you were dipping or buying this dip down here. Like if you were accumulating at 1,400, 1,500, 1,600, anywhere in here, taking profit at the top side of this little decision-making range is a very good idea, because there are, again, times where you go down or you go into this range and you get rejected right back out of it. So the same way that this happened right here, that could happen right here. So it is well worth considering it, but personally, I'm not up enough on ETH to want to take profits right here. I'd rather just leave it alone and see if we get the breakout, okay? So when I look at ETH, I'm just waiting to see if we break out of this decision-making zone or not. When it comes to Solana, I'm in a bit of a similar situation. Let's kind of go ahead and see what this looks like. So Solana on the 4-hour charts, I remembered looking at this and thinking that I saw a cup and handle forming. Yeah, so there was a pretty interesting structure here forming for Solana, and I think it does paint a similar picture to ETH, as what you can see here is that Solana is creating what I think very easily could be some sort of like cup and handle, Adam and Eve, maybe even inverse head and shoulders on an ugly day. Forgot to check the mirror day. Like, maybe we have something like this forming, or maybe the big picture is that we have something like this forming, or the Adam and Eve forming, right? It feels to me like Solana is trying to make a pretty big decision here, and it feels like that decision is based on $160. And the reason I say that is because we had this rejection here, we had this rejection here, and that's where we are right now, is ETH is trying to get up past this zone. So while ETH is at this major point of resistance, Solana must also generally be approaching a major point of resistance, which does align with these two previous rejections here over the last couple of days and weeks. So my perspective is that just like we're waiting on Ethereum to actually break through this key level of resistance, I'd be looking for Solana to also do the same, breaking above $160. Now, the cool part about it is that if it is capable of breaking above 160, that does put it right in the range of the golden Fibonacci zone. And that could have also imply that some sort of bigger move is on the way. Like, of course, there will be a rejection, there will be a little bit of resistance, it might be a bit of a battle, but again, historically, that does say that we could be trying to make that bigger move upward. So when I look at Solana, my primary focus is on 160 bucks and letting it decide, are we going to be able to break this key zone or not? And what you'll notice is that my technical analysis is going to be for altcoins, is going to be very heavily reliant on giving them a little bit more time. Listen, Bitcoin just broke out. Like, it just made this move. There's no clarity in the market. People are still reacting. There's people who are asleep that don't even know Bitcoin hit this high already, right? And so what you need to do is you need to let them wake up. We need to give it a couple days. Let's see what happens here, and then we'll decide kind of where we're at and what we're thinking. Like, that's the general plan here, right? Give them a couple days, see where they go, let ETH make this decision, let Solana make this decision, and then we'll go from there. When I look at SUI, again, the picture is almost identical, and that's pretty normal for Solana and SUI. But what you can see here is we, of course, have what I would say is a pretty obvious bullish structure forming for SUI. We had this move downwards, we had the break back upwards. Some people did actually make the argument that this was one of those, what do they call them? Twin cup and handles. I think they something like that. It was like twin cup and handles or something like that. But it's like kind of like you have your cup and then you have these two peaks. So it's like a cup and handle right here and then a cup and handle right here. But what it looks like to me, and I think it's well within reason, is that we had a massive point of resistance. We broke above it. We came back down. We held it as support. And now we're trying to decide if we're going to break back above this and continue upwards, right? Like, are we going to actually use this support level to continue upwards? So for SUI, I'm in a very similar spot. Can SUI break above this $3.08 to $3.16 threshold and use it to start making that run to what I assume would be $3.60? Or does it get rejected back here and start trying to come back down for the double bottom? It's going to take us a couple more days, but the door up towards 360 opens if SUI is able to break back above this level, which is what I'm just watching for, right? So a lot of, again, what I'm looking at right now with SUI is just waiting to see XRP. What's going on here? Boom. All right, cool. Well, look at how XRP played out. So as you all know, when I look at XRP, I'm following the descending parallel channel. I have it big enough to where I'm avoiding any sorts of fake outs or anything like that. And I told you all my strategy with XRP. I dollar cost average a little bit at the 50. I dollar cost average a lot more at the bottom 25. I take profits in the 75. That's what I do. And what does XRP do? Comes down, boost back up, you take that profit. Comes back down, get your buys, goes back up, take your profit. Comes back down, do your buys, come back up, take your profit. Comes back down, do your buys, goes back up, take your profit. It's the same thing over and over and over again. And that's the reason why so many people have been pissed with XRP, so tired of XRP, bummed out by the fact that it's not really doing too much. Yet while it's been going down, we have consistently been not only lowering our average cost, but range trading this bad boy, locking in some fantastic gains. Not massive gains, but fantastic gains. Much better than had we just been holding and it was just going down. So what am I looking at for XRP right now? Well, I'm looking to take some profits off the table if I have profits to take off the table, and I'm waiting to see. Is XRP going to start trying to follow in Bitcoin's footsteps and it's going to try to break above this descending channel, try to make a run back towards this previous high? Or is it just going to get rejected back to the downside, give me an opportunity to DCA, and then try to retake those profits if we swing back upwards, right? So for XRP, again, it's a waiting game. I'm looking at this bad boy saying, all right, let's wait. I took a little bit of profit off the table. Let's see. I'll either reinvest it if we fall back, or if we break above this, I'll continue to take profits the higher that we go, okay? Very simple stuff, very easy peasy. ICP. ICP is in the same spot. I've told you all. ICP is not giving me the signs of life that I'd like to see from it, but I do think from a macro perspective, this is a decent time to be DCAing. It's clearly holding support. It's trying to build in some sort of double bottom. I think it's well within reason that if one really good piece about ICP comes out, we could start to see it try to push back up towards $6 or $7. So I still do think that ICP is in a decent accumulation zone. You just need to be very careful. I also think long trades aren't a terrible idea as long as you're willing to take a big risk on that and also set a stop loss somewhere around like $3.80 to $3.90 back down here. Okay, very simple. Shout out to you, Henry. Caspa, very simple stuff. Very, very similar stuff. Sorry. Caspa made the move to the low, the move to the high, came back down, building support on top of the golden zone. As it's building support on the golden zone, Caspa's price broke out the golden zone, and it did a fantastic job of building this multi-layered approach in order to build support here, and now it's trying to use this to run upwards. Now, it's clearly running into this little micro resistance zone right around, let's call it 0.081, 0.082. So if I'm a Caspa holder, I'm saying, all right, well, if we can clearly get a couple daily closes above 0.082 or 8.2 cents, I think it's well within reason to assume that Caspa can start trying to make a move back up to the top side golden zone right up towards around 10 cents. I think that's well within reason. And so when I'm looking at Caspa, I'm actually pretty excited. I'm saying, all right, let's give it a couple of days. Let's see if it can actually break this resistance point. But if it can, who's to say it can't push first up towards 9.1 cents and then higher up towards 10 cents? Very reasonable. You just got to give it a couple of days in order to see if this move is going to happen. If Caspa's price does get pushed back down, well, obviously we're kind of back to point blank, or that's not the word. We're back to square one. We're back to square one, and well, we just got to kind of figure out what happens, right? So when I look at Caspa, I say, okay, held the golden zone, used it, broke back above it, holding up very well. Can we get back above 8.1 on a daily close? If so, I think we open the door up towards 10 cents. Very simple stuff there, okay? XLM, told you guys this earlier, so I'm not going to dive into it too much, but XLM made a beautiful move upwards. We did a bunch of buying on XLM in all of these green boxes as it was going downwards. We didn't really get any green buying opportunities for a while, but it didn't really matter because XLM has now broken back here, which is now higher than all of these three averages down here. The only purchase we did on XLM that's not up right now is this one, which was the smallest one because remember, we do bigger purchases the lower that it goes. And so the beautiful part about it is that the descending channel strategy worked again for XLM. Buy the lows, take profits at the highs. I took some profit off the table right here. And then now, of course, I'm taking a little bit of profit off the table right here. And I'm mostly looking at XLM and thinking, okay, well, it made the run. It's done very good. It wouldn't shock me whatsoever if XLM does go and kind of like slow down right here because it has golden Fibonacci resistance and it has regional high resistance at 33 cents, right? So 28 cents to 33 cents is going to be extremely difficult, I think, for XLM to clear. So I'm just going to let this bad boy do its thing, right? I'm going to continue to take profits the higher it goes. I already took some profits here. If it comes back down, I'll consider DCAing on that point of support if it goes down that low. But if anything, it's like, all right, XLM's already started to get that move going. I'm not going to try to force my way in. I'm going to just let this bad boy play out, and then I'll see how it goes from there. So XLM's not really a buy for me right now. If anything, it's a take profit. Cardano's looking okay. I'm just not very excited about Cardano these days, if I'm going to be super honest with you guys. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say there. Like, it's not really performed that great. Even right today, it's just not performing great. It's still pretty down. It does look to me like it is still off of the golden zone a little bit. So it's like kind of trying to bounce off golden zone support. But to me, again, Cardano's just not been holding up very well. So I'm not all that interested in it. I haven't been looking at it, so I can't give you a great perspective. I'm going to be super honest. Okay. What y'all arguing? Pepe, what are y'all arguing about? Okay. H-bar. H-bar is looking pretty good. Let's kind of see how this bad boy's played out. So what you can see, H-bar had this beautiful descending channel. As you guys know, we were scooping the lows on this descending channel, taking profits at the highs until it broke out. When it broke out, I did take a little bit of profit off the table, but I didn't take much. I wish I'd have taken more because, of course, H-bar did pull back. But what's cool about it is that H-bar's price actually did come back and had like a double establishment of support. It came back and it back tested the top side of the descending channel, and it back tested this previous point of support, which does co-align with this previous point of resistance back here. But it held this macro liquidity zone and is using it to go upwards. I actually think that H-bar isn't a decent time to be buying right now. I think this is a decent time to be accumulating. Obviously, the best was back here when it did back test this previous point of resistance and flip this R into an S, resistance to support. But I still think it's in a decent time to accumulate. It's not on the golden zone quite yet. There is still a little bit of room to run. So I think there are still some gains in the way for H-bar. I think seeing H-bar push back over 20 cents makes a lot of sense to me. It obviously just depends on the rest of the crypto market. But H-bar is looking good, and I'm very happy with this price movement that it's given us. for a little while here. Okay. Pepe rage baiting. Good. Okay. Let's see. Let's get into some of the newer guys. Let's see how our good pal Ondo's been performing. So Ondo is still in a very similar situation as I told you all before. Listen, I told you whenever we created this ascending channel, I said, listen, I don't like ascending channels. They usually don't hold well. They're usually continuation patterns. We then saw Ondo break downward, and everybody who was telling me I was dumb right here hit me with a you right, and I was like, I know. All jokes aside, Ondo is still in a good spot. Ondo's still within the macro golden zone. It's holding it very well from what I can see. It does have this bullish divergence as we created this lower low. I think this well within reason to say that Ondo could easily push back up over $1 at some point. So Ondo is still in a buying opportunity, in my opinion. What about Zebek? What's that bad boy doing today? Oh, I was looking at that like, yo, what? Look at this. So I actually want to show you guys something from my Instagram real quick because I kind of want to just talk shit for a second. I said, if you hold the ZBCN token, you need to see this. So as many of you know, ZBNC had a crazy run, throughout April and May, topping out roughly at 0.07 cents. Now, since then, though, it's not been performing well. And I told people, like, listen, it's down 66%, and it's pulling back to this 0.0024 level, which is a massive level of support. That's what I told you all in this video. And I said, listen, this is probably a pretty decent buying opportunity because of what we're seeing right now. And look what happened, guys. Like, wow. I mean, that was absolutely fantastic. We didn't make it all the way down to the support level like I thought we were going to, but we didn't need to. This bad boy rocketed off of that video. I mean, it saw gains of 55%. So if any of you got in on that, shout out to you. I mean, that was an absolutely banging, that was a banging vid. I'm sorry. Like, I try not to flex too much, but saying, like, hey, we're getting close to support right now, I think this is a decent opportunity. And then this bad boy pumping 55% over 48 hours is beautiful. So shout out to you. Shout out to you guys who capitalized on that one. At this point, I obviously would be being a little bit more conservative with this bad boy. It's up 55% in a couple days. Still well off of the 40 or the 47612 level, which is the golden fib zone up here. So it definitely could still have some room left to run, but I would start to get a little bit more cautious now that it has made this run. The better buying opportunity was back here. Now's not a bad one, but it's definitely much more risky, in my opinion. Okay. I saw somebody say AVAX earlier. Happy to look at that. Let's see what that bad boy's up to. I wish my camera wasn't dead. AVAX. Looks to me like it's on bottom side golden Fibonacci zone. Finally. Yep, bottom side golden Fibonacci zone, holding it up well. Beautiful reset here on the daily RSI, looking good. Got rejected off the top side golden zone, so clearly range bound. Golden Fibonacci top side, bottom side golden at Fibonacci, top side golden Fibonacci, bottom side golden Fibonacci. Wouldn't shock me whatsoever if the altcoin market does perform well, if AVAX tries to use this as some sort of like double bottom and tries to rally. The first stop's going to be $26. If it can break $26, wouldn't shock me again at all if we see AVAX push back up towards $50. Now, obviously, that is contingent upon the fact that the altcoin market does give us gains and we don't just see everything in nuke, in which point AVAX could easily come back down towards $13 and lower. But as long as that's not the case, and I don't think that's going to happen, I think it's well within reason that AVAX could try to make some sort of beautiful run. Again, first back up towards $26 to retest that MLR, the mid-level of resistance right here, and then that previous high right up here around, $50, $40, something like that. So AVAX does look like it's actually in a pretty decent buying opportunity, especially while that daily RSI is still sub 60. So looking pretty good. Okay. Yeah. Let's look at Pepe for the shits and giggles. Pepe, let's see. Let me just kind of be objective about this. I would actually say Pepe's not looking that bad. Pepe's just kind of been in the same little range for quite some time now. It kind of has like this going on with whatever the hell this was above it. Like that's like its overextension zone, it feels. So like this is the point of consolidation right here, and then it has like its overextension zone to the top side. And let me kind of see if I would say it's almost more like this as well. It's like your bottom side extension zone. So like there's your green zone, there's your yellow zone, there's your red zone. Pepe just been stuck here since like February of 2024. So to me, it's kind of just like, all right, well, we're about halfway down. Like we're still in the bottom half from what it seems to me. So I don't think Pepe's in a terrible time to be accumulating. Obviously not the best because of course the best time is in this little green zone down here, which is historically when it is at these daily RSI lows, as you can see. But it's definitely not like the terrible time. I'll give this a 50-50 coin flip of whether or not it goes up or goes down. So I personally wouldn't be doing much here, but I can also also see the argument that some people were making on Twitter yesterday that Pepe is trying to cup and handle. The only problem that I have with the thesis that this is a cup and handle pattern is simply just that we are seeing this cup and handle pattern take up over 50% of the retracement. And typically a cup and handle pattern isn't that big, right? Like a cup and handle pattern would be like this. That would be a good cup and handle pattern. When you start to try to say this is one, it does spook me a bit, okay, just because, again, the sheer size of that cup and handle in comparison to the retracement that we saw here. So 50-50 flip here. Not great, not bad. I think it's okay. Okay, let's look at... Yo, y'all got to read the argument in the chat right now. Okay, check out Tars AI. Happy to do it. I think my camera's charging. I might be able to get it on for the end here. Tars AI is actually looking pretty damn solid. Not fantastic, not bad. I definitely do like this recovery. As you guys know, I was doing a little bit of accumulating or reaccumulation with the profits that I took back here, right here. That purchase that I did right here honestly didn't perform that well, as Tars did fall about 40%, but it has recovered a good bit, and I do think it's well within reason to assume that Tars easily could try to use this little descending structure it's creating to push upwards. I think that if I was looking at this from a non-objective perspective or a non-biased perspective, that I would say, okay, well, it seems to me as if Tars is trying to create some sort of like borderline descending, if not consolidationary channel. Some would call this a bull flag. I don't think there's a problem with that. I would just be careful because it is a microcap in many regards. Some people call anything under 500 mil a microcap. So when I look at Tars AI, I do think that it is still pretty good, but I do like the fact that it had this previous point of support and is trying to crack that resistance. And I think if Tars can get above that 10-cent level and maintain it, pushing to 20 cents is very easy. So I think Tars is in a pretty good spot, not a great spot, but a pretty good spot due to this descending structure it's been creating for a while here. Okay. Chronos. Let's see. Coming up towards the end here. So make sure you hit that like button. Let me go see. Did we crack 1,000? Oh, shout out to you guys. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Drink your water. I'll ban you from the chat. So when I look at Chronos is a similar picture as some of the other ones. It's trying to balance on that Fibonacci golden zone. It's doing a good job. Came down to Fib gold zone, held it, bounced. Fib gold zone, held it. See no reason as to why it can't bounce. Obviously, if the crypto market does take a shit, I can see Chronos coming back down to that 0.4, that 4.5 cent level. So it is like 40, 38, 35, 38, 40% chance that it sees this pullback. I think it's more like a 60, 65% chance that it does start trying to make some headway back up towards, say, like micro fib golden zone, which is like 14 cents. So I think it's more likely that Chronos does over time try to push up towards 14 cents rather than back down towards 4 cents. But obviously that's a coin flip, and I don't study Chronos very often. The only thing that does concern me a little bit is just how extended this daily RSI is getting. That is going to limit upside potential. So maybe it's more likely that we see it push towards like 12 cents or something like that. But I think it is, again, more likely that this does turn out to be a decent buying opportunity than doesn't, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can get... he said, I'm here, had to rewind about an hour. Shout out to you. Let me go look at SEI, see what that bad boy's up to. SEI is actually looking pretty decent. I'm not going to lie. So SEI has come back again. Fibonacci. I mean, dude, this shit's so predictable. It's come back down to Fibonacci golden zone. It has also put in what seems to be some sort of little bullish pattern here. It's not, executing on it very well. Like, it broke above this previous point of resistance and failed to hold it. But all in all, I think the fact that SEI is balancing on the Fib golden zone does kind of give me some sort of confidence that it can try to make a run. I would actually say it's well within reason that if SEI can crack this descending channel, it pushing back up towards 73 cents is well possible. Will be difficult, but it's well possible. I think even 50 cents makes a lot of sense. So I think SEI still has easy 50, 100% gainers in front of it if this crypto market allows. So I actually think SEI is probably one of those better options right now to be checking out, I would say. All right, let's see if I can get this camera back on to close this vid out. Let's see, maybe. Okay, I think we're back for a few minutes. All righty, give me one sec. Bam. Nope. Didn't mean to do that. How's it going? Hold on, give me a second. Settings, camera, ZVE10. I don't understand why that's not working. Oh, there we go. What's up, everybody? Okay, cool. You look older. Cool. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But yeah, so that's kind of where we are with altcoins. Most altcoins are in decision-making land or they're bouncing off of Fibonacci golden zones. And I think what that means to me is that the coins like ETH are leading the charge and they're making that decision. And they're making that decision for coins like Pepe, like SEI, that are kind of in these spots of these Fibonacci golden zones where they're trying to use these Fib golden zones to get going. So I think what we would see is if Bitcoin can actually push up towards, say, 115, I think it's going to pull things like Ethereum up through these decision-making zones. And then as it pulls these through the decision-making zones, it's going to pull things like SEI out of their golden zones. So we're in a perfect situation for this to be a beautiful setup here for the crypto market, but it all falls back on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin's capable of actually doing this, if it's capable of actually breaking above this all-time high and pushing 115, again, I think it opens up these doors. It's all reliant on what happens here, and that is mostly dependent on the news, which is why you got to be watching the news these days. It's annoying, but you got to watch it. You got to know what's going on, okay? Before we do wrap it up, and I'm going to do a bit of a Q&A. I'm going to do a bit of a Q&A in the chat here in a second, so get your questions ready. One more time, guys, if you do want to follow me on Instagram and get some extra updates, you can at Tyler Hill YT. It's linked down below. You can also go get the crypto playbook. There's only 14 days left, and I'll send you 2 modules from the playbook today. You can go sign up to BTCC if you're a crypto trader and get a 10% bonus on all first-time deposits. I mean, guys, it's up to $10,000 each one of you. That's fantastic. And then you can go get access to a super exchange that is DFlow. It is linked in the description down below. It has all your high-risk investments, your futures. You can track your wallet. I mean, you can invest in the basic things. It has everything that you need from a centralized, decentralized exchange and a wallet all in one place. So feel free to go check those things out down below. And as per usual, guys, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all to 131,000 subscribers. It's been a point. It's been very what's the word I was looking at? I've been very appreciative. That's the word. Jesus. I've been very appreciative of all of the subscribers, and it's been a sweet run, okay? But overall, feel free to ask a couple questions. If you have any questions, we're not going to do any more analysis on coins. I feel like we went through quite a bit of them today, but I am going to cover more stuff throughout the week. So I just will answer some questions if any of you have them, and we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's old live stream. You'd have more subs if you went live on Saturdays. I know. It's just, shoot, dude. Saturdays are the only day that I have kind of off. Yeah, I still got a good bit of lo-fi. It's insane how retail is still sleeping on crypto. Oh, they're sleeping on it. And that's also why I do have kind of this feeling like the crypto market could keep rallying because like no one's here yet. Like no one's talking about crypto still. Are you hedging in case we don't break out? In some capacities, I'm more taking profits and keeping some cash on the side just in case I want to reinvest if a dip does happen. I miss your Saturdays. You got married. I did indeed get married. Your boy got married a couple months ago. Hey, my boy DW, what's up, champ? Oh, fishy fish. How high will Bitcoin, Sol, ETH, XRP go? I got no idea. I think Bitcoin can hit 150. I think Sol can hit 600. I think ETH can hit 9,000. I think XRP can hit $10 one day. Subway. Shout out. I have been slacking. Maybe I have been slacking a little bit. I feel like the content's still rolling out, though. You know, people do ask, like, the craziest part is I would say top 4 biggest creator relations agencies in the whole space right now. So like a lot of these big sponsorship campaigns and stuff you see happening on YouTube, our company's behind a lot of it, or a lot of them in many ways. Not the degenerate ones. We don't really work with a lot of like kind of degenerate cryptos these days or anything that looks ruggy. But a lot of the bigger things that you see, we do handle a lot of it. So I do that a lot. That's what most of my day consists of. And then I make videos as often as I can. But again, you guys can feel free if you do want a little bit of extra content from me throughout the day. I do, again, post on my Instagram story. Like, you can kind of see, I'll talk about what I'm doing through the day, whether it's like calorie burn, because I'm obviously, I care about that sort of stuff. So it's like my personal life stuff. I talk about crypto and see like how people are feeling about the market. This is a little funny thing I posted earlier. I had to detangle my hair. It was so annoying, but got the braids going. Shouted out the live stream, stuff like that. Just extra stuff from, if you want to see some extra stuff from me, it's all there. Let's see. I get it. Been married once. Shout out to you. Now you're hiking in Arizona. Hell yeah. Train crypto. Starting at the top. Sorry. What watch are you wearing? I'll show you. It's one of my favorite watches. It's always in my safe. I never really have it on me, but I had it today because I had an important meeting. But this is a Rolex Datejust. It's one of my favorite watches on earth. Really, 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 really big fan of this bad boy. Appreciate the stream, T. Shout out to you, Josh. Are you still in the render or did you sell? I am in the render. I don't have a ton, but I still have it. You're looking like Red Foo earlier, ready to party rock. Hell yeah, I'll take it. I feel the whole world is talking about crypto, but I think Tyler's right. I think there's just so much news that it feels like everyone is involved. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like the whole world is talking about crypto, but no one cares about crypto right now, if that makes sense. Started buying ZBCN back in March, and boy, is this thing in profit, even after the past few fun projects. Thanks for the Tyler. You got it, champ. Congratulations. You're awesome, Tyler. It's my first time on your channel. I already subbed. Well, welcome in. I'm glad you found the stream. I'm surprised you found the stream. The algo doesn't usually push streams that much. Is it true 95% of all crypto is owned by wealthy people and corps? That's what I keep hearing. Probably so. I don't know the exact numbers on that, but probably so. How do we become part of the agency and possibly seek new avenues? Shoot me an email. Jason, you just shoot me a DM on Instagram. I'll recognize you. I think ETH is going to really separate itself from all their alts. I hope so, because it's not been going good. What's your opinion on holding XRP for the next 5+ years? I have over 3K. I think it's great. I think there are definitely some things in the way of XRP that could slow down its growth, but I think it has the most obsessed community of all time, and that alone could push it up high. When are you doing the other sleeve? I'm going to do the other sleeve in my 40s. So I'm going to do... This sleeve was for my... I started this sleeve when I was a teenager. I know it sounds crazy, but I mean, I feel like it came out pretty sweet. I started this sleeve when I was a teenager. I'm going to start to work into this sleeve and like work it to my chest. So I'm going to take the sleeve and I'm going to pull it into the chest. I'm going to have it kind of go up a little bit right here and then down my back. I'm going to work on that throughout my 20s. And then late 20s, I'm going to work on the leg. That'll go in my 30s. And I'm going to cross over to this arm in my 40s. That's the thought, at least. Anyway. Love it. Shorting from, shout out to you guys. With your strategy, I have one too. Love it. Yeah, of course. Rolexes don't make fake stuff. You hit my algo somehow as well tonight. Hey, well, cool. Welcome in, everyone. I don't know what that says. I don't know, Gertie. Everyone here, get into the CSS. Best spot to keep your head cool when the market pumps and dumps. Hey, shout out to all of the team from the CSS. We have some huge stuff coming in 14 days. We have a massive update going on in the school. I will warn you now, prices are going to go back up. Feel free to check that out down below. I'll talk a lot more about that in a couple weeks. XRP is dead. Old garbage going. What is the fascination with Rolex? It was the first watch that I ever thought was beautiful. I don't really give a shit about the name. I don't really give a shit about the history. That's going to probably offend people. I don't care. I've never, it was the very first watch that I saw. This specific watch was the very first watch that I ever saw and was like, oh my God, that's a beautiful watch. And so because of that, I bought this watch. I do have a Daytona. I think Daytonas have one of the most fascinating histories on earth. I'm a very big Omega fan. I actually like Abel. Abel is a watch brand that actually started creating women's watches. And so they have a very sleek and lightness to them that I find very appealing. So I have a couple of those. I like watches though. But these bad boys, they stay in the vault. I'm not up very much, but out of dry powder, tempted to take profit. You're the best. Keep up the good work. Love the channel. Well, shout out to you, Flippy, and I think that's a great idea. Taking profits is always a good idea. Yep. Shoot me a message, Jason. I'm all good. Hey, how quickly can you turn 1K into 10K? Not very quickly. Not with my current strategy. I'm not very much of a fast money type of guy anymore. I used to be. It's very stressful. I find much more joy out of taking my time and enjoying the journey. What happened to the lizard sign? I don't know. I just didn't like it anymore. I was doing keg stands in my 20s. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, G. How high you think XLM can go? I think within reason, XLM can probably XLM can probably push back to $1 with relative ease. Back up towards $1, I meant. I remember my first Lambo. I never had a Lambo. Don't really want one, and also it's Lambos are very inconvenient when you live where I live because the nearest Lamborghini servicer is 4 hours away. It's just so annoying. You see Andrew Tate trying to do 100 mil long on Bitcoin right now. That's stupid to advertise that. That's an easy way to trigger some liquidations. What's your comeback when people call you an idiot for investing into crypto? I call them an idiot for not investing into crypto, and it really, really, really makes them mad. They'll be like, because I always ask them, okay, what do you have? And they're like, VOO. I was like, well, okay, what's that return you since you started? And they'll say 19%. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. But I mean, I just show them it's dude, at the end of the day, you can call me what you want to call me, but the proof is in the pudding. And the truth is I've been investing into stocks since I was 16 years old. I've been investing into crypto since I was 17 years old. I made about 4 times more money in crypto than I have in stocks. So you can call me an idiot, but you can't call me a broke idiot. So fuck it. I mean, I don't know. Andy, how old are you? I'm 24. I turned 24 last week, actually. I feel like I'm super far back in the comments. Oh, not that far. Okay. How old are you? Yeah, I'm 24. Turned 24 last week. Happy about it. Happy about it. Almost halfway into my 20s. Um, how much do you think Bitcoin will hit top in this bull run? Probably like 150 grand. But I don't really think Bitcoin's going to have a bear market like it's ever had before. I don't really think it's going to bear market that much at all. I actually do think altcoins have been in a bear market for the last couple months, and Bitcoin's held steady. So to me, it kind of gives me further conviction that I just don't think we're going to see the cycles look the same for Bitcoin anymore because institutions can't afford it. I think it's more likely that Bitcoin hits highs and then pulls back and hits highs and pulls back, but it doesn't really have those ginormous bear markets anymore. That's a guess. I don't really know. But I'd say 150K is like a reasonable assumption just because it struggles so much to gain any momentum fucking ever these days. 8 is lagging behind. You do any chart reviews? Yeah, earlier I honestly was like 8 is just boring and I just don't really like it. Having Omega Moon watch way cooler than Rolly. I think that's very reasonable to assume or to say. I have an Omega meteorite. I have one of the constellations that have the meteorite in it. I don't know where it's at. I have one of the constellations, the black and gray one. I have the Terra Luna, or the Aquaterra, sorry. The Terra Luna's crazy work. I have the Aquaterra, one of the green ones. I really, really like that watch. I wore it in my wedding, actually. And I have a constellation that looks like this, but it's much more plain. It has those flat plates, which I really like a lot. How about Zebek? I talked about that earlier. Is it over for Woo and Thorchain? Honestly, I don't know much about either one of those. Bro, in my 20s, I was in debt. Hey, that's a lot of people. It's all about the journey. It doesn't matter. I just got lucky. I was just around at the right time. Anyone checked out Telcoin and think it could benefit from the stablecoin bill? Think it's kind of slept on. Also forgot to say congrats on the marriage, Tyler. We're getting married in September. Hell yeah. Congratulations to you. Good luck on wedding planning. It's not very fun, but I do miss it. I kind of miss the pre-wedding days, to be honest. Like I miss thinking about when the wedding hits. Like it's stressful, but it's also exciting. And my wedding day, my wedding weekend was one of the best weekends of my entire life. It was the best weekend of my entire life. I miss it sometimes, but I'm grateful to have the memory. So congratulations to you. I'm jealous that you get to look forward to it. Congratulations. Great work, Tyler. Much appreciated, champ. How are you in your 20s with so much money to invest? I started investing with about $3,000 when I was 16 years old. I used to work in a dish pit 8 hours a day, 4 days a week, whenever I could, whenever I'd get out of school early. Whenever I got out of high school, I started working full-time as well as training full-time. I was an MMA fighter. I used to be a pro MMA fighter. Many people don't know that, which is odd. I feel like I said it so much. So from doing that and pro MMA fighting, I was able to get up to like $10,000 or $15,000. And then I got some graduation gifts from my family, which was cool. They got me up to like 20 grand. I started investing into stocks mostly around that time, which was like 2018 or so. With about $20,000, I was investing in things like Stag Industrial, STOR, or a lot of real estate investment trust, some VOO, some SPY, a little bit of Tesla actually as well, but I didn't do well with it because I was an idiot. And then the pandemic started, everything started dropping. Everything started dropping. I couldn't go to work. They closed down work and they closed down, like we couldn't have fight shows. So because of that, the government actually gave me unemployment. I took the unemployment and I invested it in the stocks as the crash was happening and like throughout the crash. And I also was investing into crypto at the time as well. I started like right after that in 2020 or 2019 is when I actually like got headfirst into crypto. I had started buying Bitcoin in 2018, but I didn't really care about it. I just heard about it. I had about 30 grand at that point. I was investing into them just as much as I could. I kind of doubled. Like I went from like 30 to 60 rather quickly because my stock portfolio was like 15, 20 grand. My crypto portfolio was like 20, 30 grand, something like that. And then I started a YouTube channel talking about what I was doing. That started to gain traction over like a year and a half. About a year and a half later, I was up to maybe like 70-ish because like the market started getting weird. My YouTube channel started generating revenue because of AdSense. It was doing like 5 figures a month. And so then I kind of rode the YouTube wave. I've had months from YouTube. It was like 5 figures, 6 figures, whatever it was. And then I have a company that's a creator relations agency. It's a 7-figure company now, which is I'm very grateful for. It's a stroke of luck and a lot of work. And because of YouTube, because of investing and a lot of profit taking at this point, and just generating income from YouTube, my company investing into crypto and taking profits, I've generated a couple 7 figures from it. So that's kind of the story. There's more to it. I was selling candy at school and I got suspended for it. But I figured you'd want this though overall. Anyway. Okay, what are your thoughts about blue chip ETF, XRP only 2% over core having a 5%? I'm not super big on them personally. I'm more of like a traditional, like just buy the coin type of guy. I'm having second thoughts about ever investing into crypto. I should only did stocks and Bitcoin. It's taking my damn head. That's usually a good sign that we're probably getting towards the bottom. So maybe stick it out just a little longer. Which crypto do you believe has the most upside in the next 5 years? Well, it depends. Obviously, it's like a risk to reward ratio, right? But if I was gonna just pick one, I would. Shit. Top 5. I'm looking at Solana. Top 30. I'm probably gonna. I don't know. I'm going to be honest. I don't know. I mean, I think some of the ones that have great potential, Ondo has great potential. I think SEI has great potential. I think SUI has good potential. So I'm going to just swing those ones around. How much do you think OTC have actually affected the market? When do you think that dries up? I think they've affected the market a lot. And I can't particularly I don't know how deep into this conversation I can go. So I'm just going to say they've had a big ass impact. I'm just going to do that. Your generation realized you didn't have to start a business to make good money. I made money the old way, and now I'm learning from you. Shout out to you. I've actually done both, and I will say I like them both. In my 20s, I was living paycheck to paycheck. Teach me your ways. Keep it bagging. Keep it going, champ. Love it. Get a tag also. I have a tag Hewer. I have a Carrera. I have a silver face Carrera and a dark black. No, it's not dark black. Okay, you know those Carreras that are like silver, and then the silver goes into the face, and then like the numbers are bronze. I have one of those, and then I have one of the same ones, but the face is a dark gray because I have a suit that I wanted to wear it with. I love tags. Tags are great. I have a couple TSOs as well. Institutions will dump Bitcoin when the time is right and will buy back when the time is right. 4-year cycles won't go away. It's built into the Bitcoin white paper and has never gone away from it. We'll see. Any thoughts on Dogecoin? I think that's a reasonable thesis. Any thoughts on Dogecoin? I don't love it. I think it's all right. How many Bitcoins do you have? I can't say that. I just don't want to say that, but a couple. When's your next fight? Do we get to watch it? I've been retired for the most part. I pretty much put the gloves up, but I have been having that itch to fight again. So it wouldn't shock me if I do fight again. And if I do fight again, I will be fighting likely in February or March. You're a good guy. That's why I follow you. Shout out to you, crypto hackers. I try my best. I made mistakes. I'm not a perfect guy. I'm not a perfect man, not a perfect husband. I try my best, though. And I feel like that's I guess what people can resonate with, because I think that's just what we all are, right? Like, we're a bunch of flawed individuals just trying our damn best. And as long as we can agree on that, I think we're in a good spot. Will stablecoins lead to ETH domination? What do you mean by that? Have you done any trades when you're drunk? Probably. If I got so drunk that I was trading, I don't remember the trades. What state are you in? I don't usually say that too much. I'm in the South, though. Came in late. XRP is sitting in the gold zone. Hopefully, we can hold 2.31 and backtest successfully at the descending channel. Love it. Let's see. What are your thoughts on XPX 6900? I don't know much about it. I've seen a lot of people make big gainers on it. It's just a little bit too far out my wheelhouse right now. Shout out to you, Eugen Sky. Love the work that you do. Thoughts on meme coins? Have we peaked, or is there more to go? I don't think it's even really started. I don't think alts have run, and because of that, I don't think memes have peaked. Maybe a short-term local peak, but I don't think they've reached like a big peak, personally. Armenian crypto mommy. Good for you. That's an amazing success story. I appreciate that. Again, just trying my best. I got a Carrera to go with my Porsche. Only reason. What sort of Porsche? I'm not going to lie. I had a moment the other day where I was going to trade my C8 Stingray for a Porsche, and I decided not to, but I wanted to. For my graduation, all I got was a new phone, SMH. Hey, that phone could be the big start. Don't ever discount that, champ. You got this. You're good. When you're in Arizona, let's go hiking. I know all the good spots. I'm actually going to come to Arizona a couple times, I think. We have some family out there. I have some in-laws out in Arizona, so I'd love to go at some point. So I'll take you up on that. Shoot me a DM. I feel like people were sleeping on ETH. I don't think people were sleeping on Ethereum. I think they were rightfully annoyed with ETH because the ETH Foundation and ETH's leadership has been absolute dog shit for like 3 years straight. Don't what? Almost 5 a.m. still watching you in a bit of Bitcoin chart. Do you think it's going to be a long cool off after this breakout? Probably not a long one, but I think there'll be a little bit of time. Oh, he said don't trade the car in, right? You still have a C8 you have a C8 Corvette too. It's I love the C8. It's a great car. So my wife has a Mercedes, and I drive that bad boy like all day. Driving a C8 can get a little bit annoying because you're so low to the ground and you can't see shit, but it's a good time. Any thoughts on cold wallets? Absolutely. Use them. Ledger, Tangent, use them. When will Bitcoin hit 1 million? I don't know, quite frankly. Brillo in the building. I love seeing Brillo's comments. I don't know what it is, Brillo, but when I see your comments, you make me happy. So I appreciate you. Tom Lee has a bullish forecast on ETH due to stablecoin adoption. Have you read into the narrative or have an opinion? I have not, but I would love to look into that. I know Sam. I don't know if you guys know Sam. Shout out to him. Oh, speaking of, let me shout somebody out real quick because this mother effer has been grinding like crazy and he deserves it. And if you guys do like good crypto content, go watch this. Hold on 1 second. Let me turn my. Let me go do this. I need you guys to do me a favor. Go to YouTube right now. Go check out youtube.com. Here, I'm gonna put it right here. Go follow the guy. It's one of my best friends. I'm actually going to be with him all weekend. Dude's been grinding, and his content is so damn good. It's crazy. The guy's not even been on YouTube for a year. He's almost at 10,000 subscribers. Absolutely smashing it. But tons of money. The dude's awesome. Certified CPA. Licensed CPA, not certified. He makes content about ICP and CASPA and XEN and ZBNC and or ZBCN, sorry, Pi, the broad market. I mean, absolutely smashing it. So if you have not gone follow him, please head to the link down below. Go follow my guy, Cade, one of my best friends. Let's see. Will Tom Lee be the next Cathy Wood? Maybe. How undervalued do you consider RWAs? Any forecast? I think RWA is still undervalued, quite simply because I genuinely believe we need RWAs to continue to bridge from Web 2 to Web 3. So as long as crypto is important, I think RWA will be important. Tyler Roundhouse kicks hit harder than that Rolex. I would know. I've taken one to the head sparring. Oh, what's up, Patrick? Welcome in, champ. Patrick, it's good. I feel like I see Patrick in the airport more than anyone on earth. Pat, I've seen you at least 5 times in the airport. It's just wild. Tall guys think alike. But shout out to you, Patrick. Always happy to see you, brother. Just getting that GT3 RS. You know you want it. You want to be cool, don't you? Maybe. Fuck off. Leave me alone. You know, you guys know what I do love. I love. I'll show you. I feel okay. I don't know if you guys care. Listen, I'm probably just going to talk to the chat for the rest of the stream. So if you're looking for anything informative, I'm probably going to have nothing to say. But I'm loving hanging out with you guys. And I'm also on a diet and I'm starving. So it's great talking to you guys. I'll show you what I want. I'll show you what I want real bad. I want one of these so bad. I want one of these so bad. They're so nice. I drove one in Dubai and I was just like, oh. The Bentley Continental, GTCS. Something about a Bentley. Because like there is that piece of me that thinks like Lambos are kind of cringe. And I also absolutely despise the inside of Lamborghinis. But I feel like this is so class. Like, One day I'm going for it. I just can't pull the trigger because I have commitment problems, but not to my wife. Hey, Tyler, do you think hype integration to Phantom Wallet will affect Solju? Probably not a ton, but I do think it's good. I'm the only one in my family investing in crypto and stocks. I come from a Hispanic household and have learned a lot from you and others here on YouTube. Thanks for teaching. Have invested over 10K so far. Nelson Martinez, shout out to you. You are going to be the first one in the family, and I love to see it. I was the same one as well. I was the first one as well. Tandem ring versus card. I'd go card. I'm waiting when I will see your live. Gonna start gaining 1K viewers and I will for sure sell half the positions. Yeah, there you go. When my videos start cracking 30K views again, sell everything. Yeah, shout out to, go check him out for sure. Appreciate you, Jason. Do you think Bitcoin could be hacked with all of the old dormant addresses coming to life? I'll shoot you the video on the Discord. Send it to me. That's interesting. It's weird. My guy said go to YouTube while we're watching YouTube live. Hey, be nice. I had a C7Z06 Corvette, very uncomfortable. They're not the most comfortable cars, but I will say my C8 Stingray is one of the most comfortable sports cars I've ever been in. Yeah. Why you want to diet, you skinny AF? Because I got a possible fight coming up and I got to drop some weight, G. And I'm bigger than I used to be, champ. I got more muscle than I used to, bro. Shout out to Navdeep Singh Bajaj. I'm going to go for it. You think ETH will hit $3,000? Yes, when? Yes, I do think ETH will hit $3,000 eventually. And I think it's reasonable to assume that if ETH breaks 2,800, ETH can hit $3,000 by September. Let's just go a random number. Hanging with Tyler's Vibe. Shout out to you guys. This is how it starts. You start car shopping and it's over. I know. I know. I loved him. What about Cardano? Again, I just don't really. It's just not my move recently, to be honest. Damn, this is my dream card. Not gonna lie, my goal is to get it, but my network's still small as fuck. Hey, but you on the right track, G. You got it. W12 motors are so smooth. Ugh. It's sexy, but you might stand out in your small time. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm not going to be here very long. I'm not going to speak too much on it. Again, I safety problems and stuff like that. Which, to be fair, it's like there's literally nothing in my entire house. Like, if someone steals my phone, for example, there's nothing on it. Like, I don't have anything that's accessible to anyone anywhere. So it's like, from a safety perspective, is fine. Like, everything's also multi-sigged, but still, I get a little bit weird about it. But I am moving to a bigger city in the next little while, so stay tuned. I have a dog named Bentley. That is fantastic. That is a good dog. What was the XLM pumped? Or a fundamental or purely technical? Something had to have happened. I don't actually know what it was. I was busy. I was getting my hair braided and stuff like that. I don't know what happened, but something had to have pumped XLM. I see them all over Irvin and Newport. Yeah, dude. I'm in the same exact position, man. First gen immigrant, and I'm doing the same. We're going to make it. Hell yeah. You can do 30K viewers. Keep it up. Absolutely. Turn me up. Not a huge fan of ADA. It's just boring. I know you said you don't like ETFs, but we have mechanisms up north in Canada for tax-free dividend returns, so I started getting in them recently. 60% capital gains tax, though, so hold up to change. That's great. Yeah, I mean, that's actually pretty good. The tax, yeah, nice. What you need is a 6265 Lincoln convert, suicide door convert. I'd take one if you want to give me one, but if I had to pick one, that Bentley. Ooh. I think Pandem has a gnarly wide body kit. I want to see. I can see it. Damn, yeah, that's tough. I ain't gonna lie, that's tough. Anyway. What do you think about getting into XLR degen play? I don't think it's a degen play, but I think it's pretty solid. He's 24 and already made. Different paths for different people. For the C8. I think Pandem has for the C8. Hold on. I thought you were talking about the Supra. Hey, they do. I'm not going to lie. I'm not big on the wide body kits, but this is tough. That's tough. I feel like $6,500 isn't crazy bad for it. That's tough. Hey, that's tough. I'm not going to lie. That's very nice. Very nice. Anyway. What's your peak price prediction? Well, it depends on what you mean by peak. But peak of the cycle, probably anywhere from like 6 to 9K, I think is reasonable. Come to Arizona, you'll fit in. What do you mean by that? Nice job, Tyler. I'm trying to learn from you, man. You got it. Don't come to PA. I'm averaging 0.6 per trade up and down since July 1st. 22 trades on a pound. Hey, hell yeah. Continue it. Love it, Irishman. Should I expect altcoin to gain 5 to 10x from current price when altcoin season comes? If not, what should I focus on? I don't know. I mean, it just depends on what sort of altcoin season, quote unquote, altcoin season that we get. Like, altcoin season is a very subjective topic. But I do think that some alts will 5x to 10x, but I don't think most will. India announced they were adopting XLM. That's why I pumped. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, Chainlink's just not getting a lot of attention. You like GT3 RS? Yeah, absolutely. GTRS. Yeah, I do a lot. Tyler, why did you go live? Now I have to close up my XRP log. Is that a rule? I mean, I'm mad about the rule. I love the rule, but why is that a rule? She's not going to be happy with that person. I know. That's hard. I'm telling you, it's so sick, dude. Will we end this bull cycle in Q3 to October? It's very possible. I think Q3, Q4 could be a top. Yeah. Arizona's sweet. My buddy was in I think it's called Flagstaff not too long ago, and he really liked it a lot. Hey, yo, John Lemonnier. What's up, G? I wonder if that's John Lemonnier from school. Hopefully so. What's up, homie? Happy to see you. It's been a while. I hope you're doing good. I hope you're happy, healthy, and keeping it going, bro. Shout out to you. Thoughts on Beam? I don't know a ton about Beam. Like, I know enough about Beam, but I didn't invest into it because I wasn't super excited. How about them G80s? Ooh. Are you talking about, I wonder if you're talking about, are you talking about Genesis G80? You got to be talking about a Genesis G80. If you're talking about a Genesis G80, I'm on board. I almost bought a G90. I was like at the dealership about to buy a G90. One of these ones, but this. I wanted to buy this, and I was like, yo, well, I don't need this big ass car, bro. So then I bought a big ass Corvette. But I love them. Like when I have kids, need one of these in my life. Your thoughts on Beam? All right, we talked about that one. Aerodrome, it's okay. It's another one that I think is just okay. Thoughts about XRP? We talked about it earlier, actually, Brad. What's the view on Turbo Toad token? That's like so far out of my realm right now. I just have not been deep on the memes recently, but I know Money and I, a buddy of mine named Lewis from the Money and I YouTube channel, he was big on it. Should I buy a MacBook or an iMac? I like MacBook a little bit better. Should I take profits on XRP? Not a terrible time if you're up. Those are smooth. I didn't think anyone knew about them. Hell yeah. People don't know about these? Hey, when they drop the green, brother. No, that's not green. Where's the green one? Whatever. Yeah, the G90s are clean. They're expensive, though. I ain't gonna lie. But, bro, oh my God. That's the backseat, dude. Clean. Again, it's class. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's like we're talking like that's S-class quality. Pinky promised me you'll make time for live chats more often. Miss you. Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna definitely try for sure. I'm gonna be gone this weekend and then next week, and then I'll be back for like 6 weeks. So I'm gonna try to go live a good bit. Got a Model 3 Slegna. What's that? Not a huge car guy. I just know. Model 3 Slegna. What is that? Are you talking about Tesla? I love my Tesla Model S 4-door super. Dude, Teslas are fast as shit. I'm not gonna lie. We talked about SEI earlier, by the way. Is this the start of all season? Not sure yet on that. Get you a W204 if you go bins. That's the only way. I would in many ways agree with that. I like this rare Tyler Night stream. Yo, it's been so long since I've done one of these. Average cost of my XRP bag was 63 cents. I had to buy more and shamefully was bummed it moved up to 173. I feel that. I bought a Oh, my dumbass. You were okay. Sorry. I get a little slow sometimes. But yeah, I feel that. Like most, I hold too long. Whenever I see Tyler going live, I sell like I'm Connor Kenny. I picked up that beam last week. Chunky gains in value. Let's go. Shout out to you. Oh my goodness. Man, the Instagram really cracked 1,000 followers. I'm excited about that. I'm pretty proud, not gonna lie. Alrighty, well, look, guys, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up again. I am gonna be heading out of town this weekend, so I am gonna be I'm gonna be gone. Well, I'm only gonna be gone one day, but yeah, I'm gonna be kind of just moving, traveling, whatever, doing my thing. So I am probably gonna be not doing any more live streams this week and even next week, but I do expect whenever I get back, I'm gonna really be able to go ham. I'm gonna be a bit on the move for the next week or so, but I'll be on the move. So if you guys did enjoy the content, I really do appreciate you all for tuning in. I feel like we don't really get to hang out like this super often. I haven't done a live stream in 4 weeks, but I'd love to get back to them, especially when I'm back next week. So if you had enjoyed them, please do let me know. Smash that like button. Again, don't forget, I gotta show you some shit. Don't forget to go follow me on Instagram if you want some extra updates. Go download and use BTCC if you want up to $10,000 in bonuses and up to 40% lower trading fees. Get the crypto playbook where you can get 2 free modules sent to you today before the full free playbook releases in 14 days. Go check out DFlow if you do want to do some investing in like high risk stuff, futures, get you a little wallet, invest into some other things. And last but not least, go follow me on Twitter at TylerHillYT if you did enjoy the content. But guys, I just do need to issue one more reminder that I am not in any way a financial advisor, and none of these things that I said in this stream were financial advice. They are simply just my opinion based on subjective reasoning that I formulated over a couple years of studying charts. I'm just a random guy in a room with no degrees, no certifications. I have no classifications that make me good at anything that I do. I'm just a random dude with an opinion, so please don't take them to heart, and please don't use them whenever you do invest into your crypto portfolios. But with that in mind, of course, I hope you guys did enjoy the stream, and I can't wait to see you all in the next one. Peace out, everybody. Shout out to you all. Crypto Hiker, shout out to you. Josh, Slegna, Jason, all you. Hiwu, all you. Have a good one. Peace out, everybody. Peace.